This is Bruno Banani, the first Tongan ever to represent his country at the Winter Olympics. From the coconut farms of a small island in the South Pacific to the ice track elite at the Sochi Olympics. It's the ultimate hero's journey. But officials from the International Olympic Committee were not happy to see Bruno at the Games. In fact, they hated the very idea of him and called his presence perverse. Welcome to Athletic Interest and the weird and wonderful story of Bruno Banani, one of the most controversial athletes of all time. A quick heads up before we start. While we were creating this video, an underground volcano erupted near the coast of Tonga and destroyed the homes of thousands of Tongans, including the one of Bruno Banani. We will put a link in the description where you can donate, but more on that later. In 2008, a Tongan princess dreamt of seeing her national flag raised at the Winter Olympics. Eager to give their princess what she wanted, Tonga set about finding their first Winter Olympian. For reasons that are not entirely clear, the scary sport of luge was chosen. A German-based marketing company began the search for a suitable candidate. Dismayed by the fact that most Tongans had never touched snow, never mind a luge, the search committee was close to giving up, until he walked in. Bruno Banani, the fearless son of a coconut farmer, ready to win the hand of the princess by bringing Winter Olympic glory to his nation. After blowing away the competition in his trial, Bruno was sent to Germany to train on real ice for the first time. The trip was transformative for the Tongan. Not only did he start to learn his craft, he also found out what a snowball fight is. Most people called him nuts, but Bruno was soon completing runs down Olympic level tracks. Most lugers need 4 or 5 years to achieve that. He kept improving at luge events across Europe and North America, and suddenly he was only one event away from qualification for the 2010 Winter Olympics. All he needed to do was make it to the end of one final run without crashing. Bruno got off to a good start, but began to lose control down the straight, his sled knocking against wall at high speed. The crowd backed him to stay on the sled, but then it happened. Bruno had failed to qualify. With funding running low and a 4-year wait for the next Olympics, most people would have given up, but not Bruno. This is where his story goes from heroic to peculiar. By an incredible coincidence, Bruno Banani happens to be the name of a cult German underwear brand. When executives saw the young Tongan with the same name taking on the luge, they simply had to sponsor him. With the backing of a multinational corporation, Bruno Banani had enough funding to attempt qualification for the 2014 Winter Olympics. Bruno quickly became the face of the brand. He was pictured with supermodels and even had a personal collection of coconut power products that were inspired by his roots as the son of a coconut farmer. The Bruno Banani brand, both that of the company and the athlete, began to dominate luge. Bruno was busy signing autographs, and the company spent thousands putting their advertising on luge tracks. The fascination with Bruno Banani began to spread. German TV channels and newspapers dubbed the Tongans' journey to the Olympics as the second Cool Runnings. As Bruno Banani fever reached an all-time high, some party-pooping journalists became suspicious. What are the odds that a Tongan man would have the same name as a German underwear company? For that matter, is Bruno Banani even a Tongan name? The answers to those two questions are impossible and no. The greatest fairy tale since Cool Runnings was based on a big fat lie. Before traveling to Germany and becoming a world-famous luge competitor, Bruno Banani went by the name Fuahia Semi. According to the story, Bruno was the son of a coconut farmer with a burning desire to impress his princess. In reality, Semi was the son of a cassava farmer with no obvious plans to marry a princess. In fact, when the search committee approached Semi, he was still studying computer science at a local college. The only reality in this crazy fairy tale was the genuine talent and determination of Bruno. Or Semi. Or this guy. So, how and why did Fuahia Semi become Bruno Banani? Unsurprisingly, competing in winter sports costs a lot of money. More money than the Tongan government was willing to spend. Matthias Ihle, the head of the marketing firm leading the search, realized that if he wanted some extra funds, he would need to get creative. The plan was simple. convince the chosen athlete to change his name to that of a well-known company, and hope that said company would want to sponsor the athlete. They chose Bruno Banani because the German underwear brand had a history of taking part in provocative advertising stunts. Matthias then convinced the Tongan government to provide an official Bruno Banani passport and birth certificate. Presented with the opportunity to sponsor the second Cool Runnings, Bruno Banani entered into an endorsement deal with Bruno Banani. When news leaked that Bruno had changed his name to gain sponsorship, officials at the International Olympic Committee were furious. Their then vice president called the stunt a perverse marketing idea. Some call it perverse, others call it the craziest ambush marketing stunt in Olympic history. Ambush marketing is when a business attempts to attach itself to a major sports event without paying sponsorship fees. This is particularly important in the Olympics context because official sponsors pay large amounts to have exclusive rights. But here's Bruno Banani, a company that has no right to be associated with the Olympics, having its name on official Olympic scoreboards and broadcast across the world by Olympics commentators. With Bruno changing his name to attract sponsorship, the IOC hoped to disqualify him from future games under Rule 40. This controversial rule prevents any athlete from using their name for commercial purposes during the period of the Olympics. But there was nothing the IOC could do to punish Bruno. His name change was officially sanctioned by a sovereign government before he entered into the sponsorship. While the IOC and the press were calling him a hoax, Bruno was busy trying to qualify for the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi. Bruno simply needed to place high enough in the final World Cup race to qualify. With the eyes of the world watching, he placed 28th in the race and officially became the first Tongan at the Winter Olympics. Bruno would go on to do his nation proud, finishing 32nd out of the 39 entrants. Many were quick to diminish the achievements of Bruno Banani and criticize him for corrupting his dream for commercial gain. But the true Bruno Banani is far from a hoax. When asked to change his name, he replied that the only thing that mattered was helping secure his family's future. Most losers are trained from a young age, but Bruno was plucked from his island home, flown halfway across the world, thrown headfirst into a dangerous sport and caught up in a media scandal. Despite a mountain of odds against him, Bruno still managed to qualify for the Olympics, an achievement only a select few can claim. To ignore his incredible achievements simply because a marketing company had a weird idea is to deny Bruno Banani the respect that he has worked hard to deserve. While creating this video, an underground volcano erupted near the coast of Tonga and destroyed the homes of thousands of Tongans. We managed to get in touch with Bruno Banani via the producers of the documentary Being Bruno Banani. Luckily, he and his family survived, but their house was completely destroyed and they lost all their belongings. We put a link in the description where you can donate, and the money will go directly to his family. We will chip in the ad revenue of this video. You can also donate by watching the full documentary on Vimeo. A large part of the earnings will be donated. We hope, together with you, we can help his family rebuild their lives.